steps that you have to have together before you can make a WordPress website using Divi is you got to have your hosting, you got to have a domain name, and then you got to get Divi in that situation, which is basically just uploading Divi onto your the back end of your WordPress website. Okay, so for hosting, what you do is click on the Green Geeks link in the description of this video, and you're gonna get to this greengeeks.com. When you click on hosting in Green Geeks, you're gonna go to hosting for WordPress, right? And that's where we are. Okay, and then you scroll down and you see all their different plans. If you're buying, if you need a domain name, they will give you a free domain name for 1 year. After that, they average about less than $20 a year for a domain name. And all of these plans include free email and a free SSL certificate. This is really important. For example, with GoDaddy, the last I was dealing with them a few years ago, the SSL certificate was an add on that was about $70 per year. And if you don't have an SSL certificate, then your web address is going to be HTTP colon, not HTTPS. You need to have HTTPS, one, for the enhanced security of your site. Also, for example, on my phone will not open websites that do not have HTTPS, that do not have an SSL certificate on their website. Um, so with this plan, with all their plans, the free SSL is included. Also with Green Geeks, they do 300%. I wonder if it's under listed. Yes, 300% renewable energy match, which is a big deal for me. I like to be responsible with my businesses. So you pick one of these, right? I started off with a $2.95 a month. This is the monthly price for the first year. It's the promotional price. After the first year, it goes up to $13.95 a month for your hosting, right? So a lot of people will do this one starting off the middle tier, which is the pro, because you get unlimited websites that you can host for $4.95 a month for the first year. If you prepay, you'll be saving more. Okay, so now what you're gonna do once you buy this, if you don't have a domain already, let me explain a little bit the difference between hosting and domain, just in case anybody needs some clarity. Hosting is where someone is holding and saving and storing and making accessible the data that makes up your website. All the data, all the coding, all the zeros and ones in digital language that makes up your website. Someone has to hold it on their computer. That's called hosting, on their server per se. That's called hosting. So what you're buying here is someone hosting and holding that information for you. So you're paying rent basically on their computer. The domain name is separate from hosting. Um, like I said, in these plans, they'll give you a free domain name for the first year, but it's a separate service to have a domain name. And you want it to be registered with someone who's going to index you, who's going to put you in a what we call back in the day the white pages, which is a listing of all the contact information of all the businesses, right? And the way it works on the internet, if you're not registered and indexed properly, then someone can't put in the address bar of their web browser your domain name and then have it pulled up. So it's basically the white pages, if we'll call it, of the internet, where all the contact info, your address is your contact info. In order for people to put that address into the browser address bar, and then it points to the data that's on the server where you're hosting it. It pulls up all that data. So you can have your domain name registered with a different company. If you already have it registered with a different company, you could migrate the domain name over to Green Geeks, but you don't have to. You can leave it right where it is. And then what you're going to do though is, let me show you. First, you got to get your hosting with Green Geeks. Let me back up before I leave this page. If you're getting your free domain name with for the first year with Green Geeks as part of your package for your hosting, right? Then during the setup wizard, that will connect automatically your domain name to your hosting, right? If you already have a domain name registered with another company and you're just ready to buy your hosting here at Green Geeks, then what you're going to do is get your hosting, right? Then once you have your hosting, you're going to log in. See here where the login is, and you're going to, this is what when I log in, this is what it looks like when I first log into my Green Geeks account, right? You're going to log in and you're going to go to cPanel. See, this is my eco site. This is my hosting account here. I go to my cPanel and it opens me up in this window. You're going to scroll down a little bit, go to domains, okay? Click on domains. And in here, yours is going to say add new domain. I already have one, so it might say create a new domain, but basically this is where you're going to click, and then it's the registered domain you already have. You're going to enter it in here and then submit, right? And then the other thing you got to do, so you're telling Green Geeks, who's your host, that you have a website. You tell them what website it is. The other thing you got to do now is tell the people who you bought your domain name from to point it to Green Geeks, okay? To your Green Geeks hosting account. And how you do that is you go to the Green Geeks hosting account, you click on manage, okay? And what you're going to get is called the name servers. You got to get the address of the name servers. You see here, domain name servers. The name servers for everybody at Green Geeks is ns1.greengeeks.net and ns2.greengeeks.net. You're going to take these two name servers and give them to the company that is registered, that you have your domain name registered with. Depending on who it is going to be different on what it looks like. So I can't really walk you through that part, but you can call them up or chat with their bot. It's a very common thing to do. Everybody who gets a domain name, you have to point it to your hosting so that they can talk to each other. And when someone puts your domain name in the address bar, it'll pull up your website. And this information here, domain name servers, is the link between your domain name and your hosting, okay? So you copy this and you paste it in wherever company is where you have your domain name registered, right? So far we have your hosting done and we got your domain name and they're talking to each other, right? So then the next thing you're going to do is put Divi on it, right? Divi is a theme that it's on elegantthemes.com. Divi is what we call a theme, which is kind of like a face. It's like makeup on the back end of your WordPress website. WordPress on its own, it's kind of clunky. It's not very intuitive. You do need to use a little bit of code every now and then. I'm not sure exactly, but it's not nice to work with. It's a little bit, there's a little bit of a learning curve. But when you use Divi, okay, as a theme, it's like putting makeup on somebody. It makes it just a lot easier to look at, a lot easier to deal with, and everything becomes drag and drop. This is what I am going to be going over in the next seminar or workshop, is how to use Divi. And I can teach you how to design an entire WordPress website using Divi in less than an hour. It is super simple. It's super intuitive. It makes a lot of sense. It's drag and drop, cut and paste. Everything is really organized very well in this theme builder, right? So if you want to get it yourself, you would go here. Now, I'm offering as a service to help you get this on. It's that you pay annually or monthly, but I'm offering, if I can help you get your website together, that you can get it from me and pay me a flat fee of $25 for the year. I think with Divi it's like $72. I'm paying about $80 a year for it. And then anybody that I help to make their website, I can apply the API. An API key is something that activates software that you have, right? So then I can assign an unlimited amount of API keys after that. So I'm just being fully transparent so you can understand what you want to do with yourself. So then what you're going to need to do is, I thought you cannot download Divi without making a purchase. So and then here's the pricing thing. But I just wanted you to see the website where we're going to get Divi from is called elegantthemes.com. Elegantthemes.com. So you're going to have to contact me individually, and I will give you the API key and the software that you need to put on the back end of your um, WordPress website in order to use Divi. Now, I will walk everybody through that during the website. I mean, during the workshop on Tuesday. But this is just to show you. So you can contact me individually, and I'll give you the file that you're going to need to upload and give you an API key to access that. Okay. And that's the 3 steps that you, and it's really simple. It might sound a little more complicated than it is. It's simpler than what we just did with the domain names and the hosting. It really is. I'll show you that, okay? And that's about it. All right. I'll see you guys later. Hope that was helpful.